It was May 1959, and Billie Holiday had been performing in nightclubs since the late 1920s, when she broke into the music business by singing in dive bars in Brooklyn and Queens, and then in clubs in Harlem like the Hot Shah and Pods and Jerry's. She had appeared in some of the most venerable venues in the world, from La Scala in Milan to the Savoy Ballroom in Chicago to the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. She was the first African-American woman to headline an all-white orchestra. She was the first African-American woman to sing on the stage of the Metropolitan Opera House. But for more than a decade now, because of a past conviction for narcotics possession, she had been unable to convince authorities in New York City to issue her a cabaret identification card, which a performer was required to have to work in a venue that sold liquor. As a result, she could not gain employment in most of the nightlife establishments in the city where she lived. So her manager, Joe Glazier, was forced to book her out of town in clubs like the one in which she was headlining this week, the Flamingo Lounge on Upper Merrimack Street in Lowell, Massachusetts, a mid-sized city 26 miles northwest of Boston that years ago was a vital industrial center, but today was mostly known for being the home of Jack Kerouac, a founder of the Beat Generation whose novel, On the Road, had been published 2 years ago. A manufacturing hub for decades, Lowell took an economic hit during the Great Depression, when a number of its mills and factories relocated to the South. Billie had played Lowell during that time when she was an added attraction with Artie Shaw and his orchestra at the Commodore Ballroom in April 1938. Now, the city fought to remain relevant. Among its vibrant neighborhoods was an entertainment district downtown that was home to clubs like the Flamingo Lounge, which featured a house band that included a trombone player named Birdcage, and a talented pianist known only as Madeline, who, according to one regular patron, always wore a long black cape like she came out of a horror movie. Despite the house band's musicality, the club, to quote a local observer, was not exactly El Morocco. It was a small club, and it booked matching talent. Sometimes, though, it was big talent. Big talent on the skids. Whether or not Billie was on the skids, she certainly did not think so. She was pleased to have the gig. An audience, after all, was an audience. Actually, she should not even have been here, since her doctor warned her she was too sick to appear in nightclubs. For a year or more now, she had been deteriorating physically, mostly because she was suffering from, and not adequately treating, cirrhosis of the liver, the result of years of heavy drinking. She had lost weight, perhaps as much as 50 pounds, a good portion of it in recent months. The disquieting weight loss was affecting her general health, a decline that had been publicly documented. In mid-April, Dorothy Kilgallen announced in her widely read national column, Voice of Broadway, jazz singer Billie Holiday is suffering from a serious case of cirrhosis of the liver, but is disregarding doctors' advice and resisting hospitalization. Another columnist echoed the story in May. Billie Holiday has been told to give up liquor or else. The doctors say it will be only a matter of time if she starts boozing it up big. In fact, Billie had never stopped drinking, as evidenced by the scotch and water she was nursing as she waited to go on stage. Not surprisingly, the drinking continued to affect her health as recently as this week. For the first 2 nights of the run, when she tried to make it through one of her 7-song sets, she could finish no more than a song or two before she had to leave the stage. Finally, Jimmy Makris, the club's managing director, a hard-boiled businessman who nevertheless had an amiable side to him, approached her in a dressing room. "Listen, Billie," he said, "no hard feelings. I'll pay you what the contract calls for, and you come back another time when you're feeling better." It was hurtful for him to watch an artist of Billie's eminence struggle but fail to do what had once come so effortlessly to her. He also had to deal with his audiences, who were crestfallen by her inability to finish a show.